City and Guilds International Spoken ISESOL Test, Mastery Level, 20th of July 2009. Δώρα κάπου, test begins. Hello,
Hello.
My name is Fotis.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
you spell your family name for me, please?
It's K-A-P-P-O-U.
Thank you. And where are you from?
I'm from Athens.
Thank you. Now, in the first part of the test, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and your ideas, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Now, first topic is the cinema. Some people only watch films on television or DVDs at home. Are they missing anything by not going to the cinema?
Well, I guess they are missing the cinema experience, especially in some cases. For example, in action films, it's very cinema plays a more important role in terms of sound and visual experience. And plus, the cinema is also a very nice pastime. Going out with friends, getting your popcorn with all your friends and watching the movie, then discussing all about it. When in home, you do miss out this experience.
I agree with you. Now, the press. How do you keep up to date with world news?
Mostly through the internet. I follow on Twitter very big media organizations, for example, CNN, BBC. So I get tweets throughout the day about what's happening in the world. I try to visit some portals when I think that they have the cover topics that I'm interested in. And I also try to choose newspapers, Greek newspapers with important international sections and well-respected, distinguished, and I try to keep up with these newspapers as well.
Now, world events, the Olympic Games. What do you feel about the huge amounts of money spent on the Olympic Games?
I agree with huge amounts of money being spent on infrastructure and technological equipment and making and safety as well. I think it's very important. It's a world event. Many people are gathered in one place, and we've seen throughout the years even terrorist acts taking place during the Olympic Games. So I think that it is very important spending money on that areas. I don't agree with a large amount of money being spent on the opening and closing ceremony of the events. I think this it has evolved in a TV event basically, and it is mostly done for the sake of demonstrating the power of the country that hosts the event.
Okay, thank you. Now, part two. I'm going to read some situations. I want you to start or respond as necessary. First situation. I'm your friend. I went to this exhibition at the museum yesterday. I start. I went to this fantastic exhibition at the museum yesterday. I'm sure you would like it.
Is it a specific artist that exhibits his work or his or her work? Or?
It was generally a collection of art from the French Impressionist movement, and I know you like French Impressionism.
Okay, indeed. Which museum was that?
The Modern Art Museum in the centre of town.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to go there even tomorrow if I make it.
Okay. I loved it so much I would like to go again as well. So should we go together?
Yeah, perfect. We can have some coffee before.
Excellent idea. Second situation. We're friends. A few days ago you invited me to the theatre. I said I would think about it. I still haven't responded. You start.
Fotis, have you decided about that play I was telling you about?
Yeah, I was meaning to get back to you and I never did I? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity. It's a very big production and it would be very nice if you could come with me.
You know I'm really busy at this moment in time. Do you think it will be worth my while?
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's an excellent play. It has straight A reviews, so I think we could go together.
I think you've convinced me. Let's arrange it.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Now part three. In this part of the test we're going to discuss something together. All right? I'm going to give you a task sheet with some information on it, and you'll have 20 seconds to think about what you want to say. All right?
Okay, perfect.
Here is a list of some of the factors which might be important in learning a foreign language. I have the same list. Let's discuss the importance of these elements and which others should be included. Take 20 seconds to think about what you want to say.
Okay, shall we...
20 seconds. Why don't you start, Paula?
Okay. When learning a foreign language, I believe that one of the most important factors is that you get to come in touch with the culture of the country through its language. It's very important having the opportunity to read in the language that a poem or a book is written. It's much more different than reading the translated version. It's very important that you manage to listen to music or watch the films you like in the language that it was originally meant to be heard or seen. It also gives you a very important perspective of the world, trying to learning the language and etc. Also, a very important element is having the opportunity to come in touch with the people, the native speakers of the language when visiting a country, or managing to communicate with them in their language, writing to people, and all those things.
Okay, so you've mentioned 4 of the main skill areas. Which one do you think is the most important out of these?
Coming in touch with people in their native language,
so
and managing speaking and writing.
Spoken communication and writing.
And writing.
Okay. Even though writing is one of the most difficult elements of learning a foreign language, don't you think?
Yes, indeed, but nowadays there are so many social networks, people come in touch through them, and many social communities. So basically you do need to exercise the writing skill as well.
All right, so what you're saying is there are ways to make it easier.
Yeah.
I also think personally that having an understanding of grammar is essential to learning a foreign language. What do you think?
You need to have it, because if you don't have it, then you cannot, you will not be able to neither communicate in spoken or in writing form. And in that aspect, the vocabulary as well, to have a more complete and aspect of the language.
And of course, learning vocabulary, I think, is more important than learning useful phrases, as it says here, because it's much more in-depth to learn vocabulary and have an extensive vocabulary. And I liked your earlier point about reading in the language. I think that will help someone to broaden the vocabulary and understand the language that they're learning better. Anything else we could mention?
No, I think that covers it all for me.
Okay then, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now part 4. In part 4 you are going to talk on your own for about 3 minutes. Your topic is the importance of literature to society. First think about it for 30 seconds and make some notes if you want.
Okay, thank you.
So your topic is the importance of literature to society, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Laura Capu, please start.
Okay, the importance of literature to society. It is though literature nowadays may seem as sort of obsolete, I don't think that this is the case at all. Literature is an excellent way of reflecting society itself through the perspective of the author each time, but in a way that makes sense and is relevant to the people that actually do read the piece of literature. It is very interesting to see how works of great literature and very famous and distinguished authors, though they may have been written even centuries ago, do make sense and are written by millions of people even nowadays. And this seems like a very interesting way to demonstrate the society and the ideas at that given time, and it is very interesting that people nowadays are trying to see the relevance with the situation today. It is very important that people expand their knowledge of not only great literature, but even modern literature, and try to read as many books and pieces of work as possible, because that helps them expand their ideas and have a better perspective of the way the world is.
Okay. How would you define great literature?
I would have to say that many people think that great literature is something that was written many years ago. That definitely qualifies as great literature, are pieces of work that have been written in a very different era than our own, but still manage to captivate the person that actually reads the piece of work. Most people think that Dostoevsky and Kafka are among the great authors, sort of say, but I believe that there are many modern authors that in few years than now, their work is going to be considered great literature as well.
Is the age of great literature now at an end?
No, I don't believe that.
Why not?
Because I read many pieces of modern literature as well, and though we may not be able to define that as great literature now, thinking of a modern author as a great author, it may seem very forward, but I believe that in some years from now, people are going to look back to today's pieces of literature and are going to define them among the great literature as well.
And what works of great literature do you know?
Oh, many.
Yeah. Mentioned some before.
One of my favorites is The Castle by Kafka, also Crime and Punishment, War and Peace, Don Quixote as well. Many.
Thank you. That is the end of the test.
Thank you very much.
Ora capo, end of test.